In compliance with Chapter 231 of the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice has been given to all members of the governing body, the local source, and the Westfield Leader, the two newspapers designated to receive such notice. The notice is posted on the Borough Hall bulletin board. Let's stand for an invocation from Councilman Zerkis.
Lord, we pray for the safe return and safety of all of our first responders, whether that be fire department or police department. And we pray that you help us and guide us in our decisions that we make tonight. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, Martha.
Councilwoman Andre?
Here.
Councilman Dierkes?
Here.
Councilwoman Fettenkappel is absent. Councilman Messler?
Here.
Councilman Mortimer?
Here.
Councilman Turner?
Here.
Next, we have the approval of the minutes of the regular session meeting on July 23rd, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have the minutes of the work and two executive session meetings on August 7th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Abstain.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have a proclamation which I'd like to read. It's for Jensen Butler. He is a resident who recently graduated from the Florida State University with a goal to help fund research for patients suffering from rare cancers. And whereas Jensen Butler plans to raise money for rare cancer research in partnership with the organization Cycle for Survival. Whereas Butler launched a fundraiser to raise $10,000 by embarking on a 4,200-mile solo cycling journey from Santa Monica, California to Montauk, New York. Whereas Butler's trek took him through Arizona and the southern portion of the United States, through Texas, up through Louisiana, Tennessee, New Jersey, and finally to New York. Whereas as of July 11th, Jensen Butler surpassed his fundraising goal of $10,000. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside recognize and commend Jensen Butler for his contribution to rare cancer research, lead by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. We have a motion for this proclamation.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The proclamation is passed. It's just one more thing that shows that the residents of Mountainside have a good heart. And I know Jensen Butler personally, and this was a real feat for him. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to make it when he set out, but he certainly did, and we want to commend him for his efforts. Okay, so next we have some resolutions. Let's start with Deanna for Resolution 97-2018.
Due to a program cancellation for tennis camp offered by the Recreation Department, Director Frank Mazzella recommends Lisa Gillow, Sawmill Road, be refunded her application fee in the amount of $70 as authorized by this resolution.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 98-2018. Renee?
Under NJSA 40A:516A, the state of New Jersey allows municipalities exemptions for the claimant certification requirements, meaning most large utilities will now not need to sign purchase orders for services used by the borough. This resolution authorizes the Borough Chief Financial Officer to waive that requirement for the major vendors used within the borough.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Zierke?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Glenn, next we have Resolution 99-2018.
Sure. Having had a number of property tax overpayments, this resolution will authorize the borough's chief financial officer, Jill Good, to refund the following: $4,614.58 to Palmball Builders, LLC for lot elimination, 311 Central Avenue. $37,133.34 to MBC Development, LLC for lot elimination at 1360 Route 22. $2,714.86 to Renars, LLC for county taxes at 1148 Route 22. $17,253.01 to Lindaberry McCormick et al. For county tax appeal at 1135 Spruce Drive. $20,421.63 to Lindaberry McCormick et al. For county tax appeal at 213 Summit Road. $700.52 to CoreLogic for county tax appeal at 243 Central Avenue. $10,300.45 to CoreLogic for county tax appeal at 1132 Spruce Drive. $2,226.92 to Larita LLC for overpayment due to sale at 1445 Deer Path. So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Zierke?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer? Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 100-2018. Bob?
Yes, having a vacancy position in the construction department, this resolution appoints Laura Spallone as part-time secretary, technical assistant to that position for $20 per hour, not to exceed 25 hours per week, without benefits, and begin a 90-day probation period effective August 1st, 2018. So moved.
We have a motion. We have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Zierke?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
We want to welcome Laura to the Mountainside Borough.
Very nice.
She's already started, I understand.
Yes, she has.
Okay, great. Next, we have Resolution 101-2008. Keith?
Resolution 101-2018 is a resolution that will allow the officer in charge, Lieutenant Joe Giannuzzi, to purchase two police Ford Interceptor vehicles under the Cranford Police Co-op pricing agreement, contract 47-CPC-PS, in the amount of $27,553 for an unmarked vehicle and $28,113 for a marked patrol car. And that is not increasing the fleet. That is going to be replacing those two vehicles that are being taken out of service. So moved.
Motion. We have a second.
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Zierke?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 102-2018. Bob?
Yes. This New Jersey Department of Transportation is in development stages of a bridge replacement on Route 22 over Echo Lake Stream near Walnut Avenue. This resolution will authorize Mountainside Mayor and Council to enter into an agreement with the Department of Transportation under contract UECA 5 Route 22 Echo Lake -143300, and for the borough engineer Mike Disco to review and the design, construction, and completion of the same. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Zierke?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 103-2018. Glenn?
Having been ordered by the Union County Board of Taxation and the New Jersey Division of Local Government for the borough to conduct a complete revaluation of all borough properties, this resolution will direct the borough clerk, Martha Lopez, to advertise for requests for proposals, RFP, for property appraisal services.
Got a motion? We got a second?
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Zierke?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have a first reading of Ordinance 1269-2018. There's no public input on the first reading. Renee?
An ordinance amending Article 10, Section 1006A of the Land Use Ordinance of the Borough of Mountainside. Note, a change in state's regulations regarding sheds exceeding 200 square feet will require a construction permit.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Jim, does that mean that if you have a shed that's less than 200 square feet, you don't?
Previous to that, Mr. Mayor, our ordinance has stated over 100 square feet. The state changed their regulations, so now it's over 200. If it's under 200, all you need is a zoning permit to be sure that you have it properly spaced, but you do not need a construction permit. If
Okay,
that makes
thanks,
any
Jim.
sense.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Zerkis?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Singh?
Yes.
We have a motion to authorize the appointment of Ali Mohammed as a volunteer firefighter. We have a motion for that?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Glenn, you want to do bills and claims?
Certainly. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Mountainside that the following bills of the persons named and for the amounts stated below have been duly audited and found to be correct this 21st day of August, 2018. The same be paid after council's review if and when funds are available. That the Mayor, Council President, Administrator, and Treasurer are hereby authorized and directed to sign and deliver warrants for same. Total $365,988.85.
We have a motion to pay the bills. Is there a second?
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Zerkis?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Singh?
Yes.
Okay, we have any council comments tonight? None? Okay, any audience participation? If you want to come forward, give your name and your address, please. Okay, only one of you at a time.
That's right.
Hi, Daniela Fabes, 9 Mountain View Drive. I was wondering if you could give us an update on the lawsuit, on anything that's new on that, in that regard, any idea when it may go to court or settlement or anything like that?
Well, as I've said many times before, we're limited as to what we can say about the lawsuit because of the pending litigation. There was a resolution that was passed at the work session with respect to two of the officers. And John, maybe you want to just let her know about that, because it sounds like she wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, if you could.
Mayor, that didn't relate directly to the lawsuit. With respect to the question about the lawsuit, it is moving through the court process in the usual manner, I suppose, but that's probably as much as we are able or free to say about it.
So in terms of like timing, there is no idea of when we could possibly put all of this behind us?
That could be, just looking at what happens, I'm not talking specifically about this lawsuit, but lawsuits in general of this kind could be over relatively soon if there were to be a settlement, or it could take literally years if there were to be no settlement and it had to be tried. And it's at this point probably too early in the life of this lawsuit to be able to make any more of a prognostication than that about what might happen.
And the resolution at the working session, has that been made public? Is that on the website of the town?
I think what the mayor was referring to was that there were two officers who were mentioned in the lawsuit, as to whom the governing body reached a settlement agreement, and those officers pursuant to that settlement agreement resigned, and there were other terms of that settlement agreement, including waivers and other benefits that accrued to the borough. The settlement agreements themselves, by their terms, and this was at the insistence of this governing body, are public. They have been provided, the settlement agreements have been provided pursuant to Oprah requests to anybody who filed an Oprah request, and so they're a matter of public knowledge, specifically at the insistence of this governing body.
Okay, but are those easily available to anybody? Do you need an Oprah request, or is it easily available to anybody to
You
see?
need to make an Oprah request, but that's a very simple matter. Our borough clerk can help you with that. There have been a number of Oprah requests received for those two agreements, and they've been provided by our borough clerk.
Is there any particular reason why these are not just published on the as part of the maybe the minutes of the session, or?
We're simply observing the protocols that govern not just these borough records, but the way that borough records in general are made available to the public.
Just thought, in the interest of transparency, it would be nice to make them easily available rather than having
Well,
to...
they've been already mentioned in the newspaper, so they are certainly easily available. We're not trying to hide anything from anybody. It's a very simple, fill out one form and you can get a copy of it. If you can't get it in some other way.
And then once you have it, you can do whatever you want with it. I mean, as the mayor pointed out, the newspaper has got copies immediately, and to the extent they thought there were newsworthy terms, they were published in the articles that covered those agreements.
Okay, thank you.
Margaret Hanlon, 240 Beechwood Court, Mountainside. Hello.
Hello.
Just independent of the court case, is there any accountability? Are these people who are involved, from the management team and the officers themselves, being held accountable just as a management philosophy within the borough?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well,
certainly the allegations are being investigated, and based upon the investigation, whatever actions deemed necessary to make whatever individual should be accountable, we'll take those actions.
okay, my understanding was there was only one individual being investigated, though. That was Murphy,
Well,
right?
the whole lawsuit,
Yes.
certainly from the borough's perspective, is being looked at by our attorneys. There is a specific investigation that has been conducted in connection with Lieutenant Murphy, and as a result of that investigation, he was charged, and he was taken off. He was taken off the payroll.
Yes, I understood that. But the other people involved, the management team over the years, the other two officers that have taken retirement, there's no accountability there, just simply from the borough's standpoint.
That's not what I said. I said it's being investigated now. It's really all I can say because there's litigation.
Okay. My other question, can I ask another question?
Sure.
Thank you. With regard to the appraisal on property that's going to take place, is the fact of the new buildings that are taking place and the larger properties that are being built versus the older properties that have been in town, like mine for a while, is the needs of the borough and the budget taken into account when you're settling the taxes? Or what is that formula? I mean, because my thinking is with the new properties on Route 22, you're going to be receiving additional property tax. So my hope would be that existing properties are not going to go up as much as they might. They might even go down. Wouldn't that be nice?
Maybe, John, if I could just maybe respond to that. I think you have two different questions that you're asking.
Maybe.
The resolution that we passed tonight was to go out to bid for someone to do as part of the reevaluation of the town.
Right.
Okay, and that has to do with what the tax assessment would, the tax assessed value would be on your property. Once we know what the value is, and once we determine what taxes we need to levy, that will affect the tax rate. Okay, so it doesn't really, the value of your property, to a certain extent, has to do with what your taxes will be, but that's not a function of anything other than what taxes we need to levy and what the tax rate's going to be.
So that's
And
factored
the
in.
reevaluation is intended to equalize everyone so that whatever the true market value of the property, including the new ones that are being developed now, as well as the old ones, will be on a level playing field as to what the market value is.
Okay, but you're taking your tax levy requirements into account, which answers my
Absolutely,
question.
we have to.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Ileana Montes, 220 Kings Court. I just want to have some clarification. Mayor, you just indicated in terms to her question about the investigation of the two officers, you stated that they are being investigated by the borough?
Well, the attorneys that are handling the litigation are handling that. It's really all I can say about that.
Okay, because at the work session, couple of weeks ago, Mr. Post indicated that the other two officers are not being investigated and that the borough decided to settle with them because it will be costly to investigate.
That's correct. What I indicated at the work session was that by reason of the fact that the two officers who chose to terminate their employment by the borough by resigning from their employment obviated the need to ask Bill Maderer, the individual who had been conducting investigations into the conduct of these officers, ask him to conduct an investigation because they had indicated to us that they were prepared to voluntarily terminate their employment with the borough, which they did. Let me finish my answer, please. When you asked me that question at the work session, you also asked me whether that meant that there was no information or data about the conduct of the two officers who resigned. And I indicated to you then, and reiterate what I told you at that time, that that's not the case. One of the reasons why the governing body looked at the conduct of these two officers, one of the reasons why they were not allowed to simply resign in due course. They had to give up significant benefits that they would otherwise have been entitled to had they just resigned in due course, was because when the governing body looked at the allegations about the conduct of these officers, it was in the complaint, which is a public document. You've all seen a copy of that complaint. The governing body was satisfied that there was enough there to say, to then engage in the negotiations with the officers that occurred and which resulted in settlement.
I'm having a little bit of a problem because during the first meeting, the mayor indicated that it was the borough's responsibility to duly investigate this matter for all of the officers, and that whatever that investigation concluded, you were going to take action on that. So within a matter of a month, the whole thing changed. So where is the trust on the council to conduct what is really being said to the residents? That was mentioned during the first meeting, that vigorously you were going to investigate.
You're confusing an independent investigation to see if we're going to charge the officers for purposes of terminating their employment. That was no longer necessary. As part of our obligation, our attorneys who are representing us are certainly looking at all the allegations, and when the time comes, as part of that litigation, they will disclose what has been found, and that'll come out in due course. And when it does, if somebody needs to, we need to take action, then we certainly plan on doing that. But that's part of the litigation that at this point we cannot really discuss any more than that. So you don't confuse the fact.
I'm not confusing.
No, you did confuse them now.
I am not confusing. I think that we are concerned that if we don't get to the bottom of this eventually, this could happen again, and we need more active steps to make sure where this all started and it doesn't happen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
255 Cherry Hill Road. I almost don't even have the words, so I'm just going to say this. It's infuriating. It's infuriating, all of this. The fact that, you know, there's this ridiculous lawsuit against childish behavior. And the allegations against the officers and what they did is one thing. But the fact that this board, this council, you, Mr. Mayor, everyone seems to have just been letting it go on for many years. The meeting from last January, January 2017, when a lawyer came here and tried to show something, he was immediately silenced. That was a year and a half ago. And now a year and a half later, these two officers are not being investigated because it'll cost us too much money. There's no justice. They're not being investigated. They get to retire. They get pension, most likely. Do we know, do they get pension? Has that been, do we know that?
As we vindicated to you before, that is not our jurisdiction. However, we have provided the settlement agreement to the pension board because we were requested to do that. So we're not hiding anything from the pension board. We're not protecting these officers at all with respect to their pensions. Okay,
no, they've been, I'm sorry, but it seems that they've been protected for years. And that
well,
is not,
those are the allegations.
Those are the allegations.
And we'll see what happens once as part of the lawsuit. Listen, as I said before, I am very upset about those allegations. They're not my values. They're not the values of Mountainside.
But if you had listened to the lawyer a year and a half ago and you'd been willing to hear him, it might not have come to this.
Well, what happened with the lawyer, because you don't really seem to understand what happened, is I told him to report it to the Union County Prosecutor's Office because that was the appropriate authority to investigate those allegations. He was not comfortable in letting the Mountainside Internal Affairs investigate them. We referred him to the Union County Prosecutor. He went to the Union County Prosecutor, and they investigated those allegations. So we didn't do anything to sweep those allegations under the table. We gave them to the appropriate authority, the Union County Prosecutor, and they did the investigation.
But
so
weren't
it was
you
investigated.
But weren't you, as the mayor, interested to know about things happening in your police department? Weren't any of you interested? Didn't any of you want to hear? Didn't any of you want to hear what he had to say and understand it, and hear it from somebody other than just your buddies in the police department? I mean, it's like I lose sleep over this because it's so frustrating. It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating that everything's an inside deal in this town, it seems like. And everyone is protecting everyone. And everybody here has got a police on their name and on their board name until this happens. And then it's like, no, I'm not the commissioner. There's no commissioner anymore. That was dealt with a while ago. I'm sorry. It's just like, I feel like the board represents the police, the board represents their own interests, but I cannot believe I'm the only person in Mountainside who feels that, like, justice needs to be done here. And these guys are walking off with an early retirement. They resigned, they're getting a retirement, and it's infuriating. That's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Good evening. Carmen Mendiola. Let me just echo what she said.
Where do you live?
Can we have your address, please?
I do. I live in Mountainside.
Okay, what's your address, please?
In Mountainside.
Where in Mountainside?
In Mountainside. I wouldn't be standing up here if I didn't live in Mountainside.
Let me just
echo what she said. We support you. We think that they didn't act in what they had to do. I'm not going to tell you my address. I am going to tell you that you guys failed in doing what you guys did. All right. So lawyer comes up here
Campaign manager.
and speaks. No, you're not gonna dismiss me. You are not going to dismiss me.
Give us your address.
She
then
brought up
I
a
don't think
point
you're a
and you
resident.
refused to listen to her
I
point.
don't think you're a
The
resident.
point was, the lawyer stood here about a year and a half ago, right?
Yep.
Why does he have to
We
get
already
pushed over to the Union County Prosecutor's Office?
addressed that, ma'am.
Everybody here has a voice, and I only hear you all the time talking.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's exactly what you did to the lawyer.
You don't
Instead of
need to
taking
interact.
action, instead of listening to the lawyer and say, hey, come on up here, sir. What do you have? And reporting it. You have an obligation to report that.
Okay,
Everybody
enough,
here
ma'am.
has an obligation.
Enough. Okay, your time is up.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Gary White, 289 Old Tote Road. You know, I addressed some stuff that lady said last meeting I came to. She spurred nothing but crap out of her mouth because I think she likes to incite people. Let me tell you something. As an individual that is involved with a charity, I've been to over 150, maybe even more, town meetings throughout this whole state of New Jersey. And the rule of thumb, when you go before a mayor, a council, or a committee, or whatever the hell they're called, the rule of thumb is you come up, you give your name and address. All right? She should have just been thrown out, and that's my opinion.
Any other residents that would like to come up? Okay, we have, I can go to exec.
Exec?
Yeah. Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey permits the public to be excluded from certain matters to be discussed by the governing body, and whereas the mayor and council desire to discuss litigation, contracts, and personnel, which are matters where the exclusion of the public is permitted, whereas public disclosure of the results of these discussions will be made as soon as the matters discussed have been resolved by the governing body and the Borough of Mountainside. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside that the aforesaid matters shall be discussed in closed session upon adoption of this resolution, and it has to do with contracts and personnel. So we have a motion to go to exec?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're gonna go to exec.